What's going on with the music?
That was our that was Facebook. That was
That's
Facebook,
Facebook.
playing our song.
They trying to play it?
That's right.
What's up, people?
All right, what's good, everybody? I like that
Sorry.
beat. Hey, once again, welcome to the sit down where the truth is told and real stories unfold. I'm your host, Malik, your brother, along with my co-host, my brother Oran, and my co-host CDL. What's going on, y'all?
What up, y'all?
Ain't nothing to it. Sit down. It's time to get busy.
Sit down.
Yes, indeed, man. So once again, thank you for those just tuning in, that are always tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, Dreamer, hey Dreamer. For those of you tuning in for the first time, Tirani Woodley, hey. For those of you tuning in for the first time, to sit down, and we hope that we say something that benefits you and yours, man. You know, that's what the sit down is about. Beneficial knowledge. Lily, greetings right back at you, Lily.
What up, Queen?
That's what the sit down is about. Beneficial knowledge. That's what this is about. The exchange of beneficial knowledge. You know, Oran, you got something to say, bro?
Oh yeah, right quick, family. Let me share some good news with y'all. Let me tell you what happened last night to me. This is good. This is great. This is phenomenal. I'm ecstatic. I'm over top, through the roof, and all that other good stuff. So,
man.
I'm a small business owner, and I'm walking into one of my contracts last night, people, and you know, I'm looking for one of the people that work with me. I don't like to say people work for me because I don't like boss. I'm nobody's boss. I am a boss, but I'm nobody's boss. So I say work with me. So I'm looking for one. And as I'm walking into the warehouse, there's a Caucasian guy. I guess he stayed late. So when I walked by him, he said, "What's up, King?" I said, "All right." So my mind, I said, "Did I hear him right?" So because he had a handkerchief over, you know what I mean, for COVID, he had a handkerchief. So I look, for you people understand, it's a white guy. So I said, let me go find this person. So I found him. I said, my man, let me ask you something because I want to make sure I heard you right. Did you call me king? He said, yes. You know you're a king. We know you're a king. You a king. I gave my elbow bump. I had a Caucasian call me king for the first time in my life, people. Let me tell you something. I am legend today. I need to share that. That's great news. I don't care how you cut it. That's great news. I had a Caucasian, a white man, call me king last night. And he said, we, not just him, his race and his spirit. He said, we know you're king. You're king. I know you're king. You king. I said, whoa. Well, when I walked out of that spot, Malik, sis, let me tell you, I had a fist in the air, heart racing. I said, the people done gave your brother some props today. For the first time in my life, I had a Caucasian call me king. I just thought I'd share that. So all my queens out there,
that's a
major deal. So all my queens out there, I love you. What's up, queens? My kings out there, I got love for you. What's up, kings? Giving it back.
Yes,
all right, Malik.
I ain't gonna do
that. Was big.
Yeah, bro.
Shit.
Who are you?
I would have thought he was being sarcastic. You know what I mean? Until you know, like you did, you went to you got clarification.
Like, because I heard him, I heard it, and I thought he said king, but I said I didn't want my mind to be playing tricks on me. So I said, let me find this guy. When I found him, he said yes. I said king. I said, did you call me king? He said, yeah. We know you're king. I know you're king. You know you're king. And I don't know this guy.
Right.
Look, I'm legend today. I'm not around. I am legend today.
Go
ahead, bro.
You've been legend, man.
No doubt.
Real quick, man. You know, our sister, she has something that she want to talk about. That's very important. You know, it's a topic. You know, about people, our people in particular. I'm not going to hold you no longer. I want the sister to take the mic. You know, and let's get it started.
Let's get it in, sis.
How my people doing? Hey, hit like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share, share, share. If you're on Facebook, share,
She's
share,
here.
share, and come over here and visit the YouTube channel and subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. And thank y'all for being here. Like, so a lot of our viewers have been asking us to talk about colorism. And, you know, I know a lot of our viewers, and a lot of them are my shade. And this is why it's so important. And that's why they've requested it so much. You know, I had someone recently disrespect me because of my skin color. She's about your color, Orion. She's about your shade of melanin. And said that she has a problem with light-skinned people because they get more privilege because they're white passing. And I was offended. I was offended because so many of us pale-skinned or light-skinned or red bone or whatever term they want to put on it this year have an issue and struggle with the fact that someone needs to turn their. Are you guys watching the background? Because there's feedback. I don't know why.
I hear it. It's not me.
It's not on my end.
It's not on mine either. Anyway, it's like we're not. I need to figure out where the sound comes from. That's not good. Let me see. I just want to make sure we not having an issue.
So this chick is talking about our fairer skin, lighter skin brothers and sisters have more privilege. Go carry on. Go ahead. I need to. I want to hear this.
Absolutely, and it's not that I don't think that that might be the case in some situations, right? And it's called code switching, right? You can hop to whatever side benefits you at the time, but it's still offensive when your own people discriminate against you. And a lot of that feedback is killing me. I don't know if someone has it playing in the background.
It's when you talk. I don't hear when I talk, but I hear when you talk.
That's crazy. I hear it when you talk too, though.
What are you hearing? Music?
Not
I'm
echo.
hearing our echo, our voice echo. So if you guys have this on playing in the background, it's echoing.
Not me.
I don't know. Can the viewers hear? That fixed it. So it was you.
That did.
Yeah,
That was it.
Yeah.
It was you.
Right.
Get it together. No, I'm playing.
Sorry, people.
Anyway, so I was offended because of the fact that, look, light-skinned people have it from both sides. They're not light enough or white enough to be white, and they're not dark enough to be black, right? And so for someone to say that light-skinned have more privilege, maybe back in the day, right, when the mix started happening, right, when the slave owners were raping the slaves, there might have been some privilege, right? You got to go to the house versus the field. But the truth is, in real life, the struggle is still the same. The struggle is still real. The fear is still real. You know, I didn't get treated differently in a penitentiary. I didn't get treated special in the courtroom. You know what I mean? Like the systemic racism still existed. You know what I mean? For myself. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I want to read what colorism is, right? For those who don't know, right? Because a lot of people don't talk about it, right? But it also goes back to Willie Lynch syndrome. Turning the dark against the light and the light against the dark, the old against the young against the old, the male against the female. You know what I mean? So the indoctrination is sad amongst our people. We can talk about Willie Lynch syndrome all the time and point it on the white people, but we're the ones indoctrinated with it. And we're not looking at that. We're not looking at our indoctrination. We're clear on their indoctrination, the oppressive, suppressive indoctrination that they have in their blood. But we don't talk about our indoctrination as much, right? So the definition is based on skin color. This is discrimination based on skin color, also known as colorism or shadeism. It's a form of prejudice and or discrimination in which people who share similar ethnicity traits or perceived race are treated differently based on the social implications that come from the cultural meanings that are attached to skin color. So it goes along with the paper bag test, right? Right? The paper, if you ain't that same color as the paper bag or darker, you ain't black enough. You know what I mean? Or brown enough, right? Because we're clear we ain't black and we ain't white, right? But it's frustrating. I mean, I've had racism in my own family. Racism, right? And it was really hurtful to. I don't get it often because people take me for who I am. I don't get it that often, but when a sister come at me with I'm a nobody because of my skin color, and it's one of my own people, that shit hurt. That shit pissed me off. You know what I mean? Because I was called a white passing ally, and I'm like, well, that's a contradiction of terms, right? Ally is those who are not of color, and if I'm white passing, that means I'm a person of color who can pass as white. So which is it? Like, you can't call me both. You know what I mean? And a lot of people I know were offended by that term and have been offended throughout their life. And I wanted to bring that topic up because, I think that a lot of us don't pay attention to our own prejudices against our own people. Right?
It's when you first mentioned it, how when you first described colorism, it took me back to when I was in, behind the wall, and I was reading this study on India, right? And in the study, they talked about the slums of India and this 3-tier system that they have dealing with their own race. I say 99.9% of the people in India are natural born citizens of India.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a 3-tier system in their own country. You got the upper, the middle, and the lower. It's called the caste system, CASTE. And the people on the bottom, to see how they lived, it was like they was in an alleyway, a long alleyway, right? About maybe 3 feet wide, with a sidewalk about this big, about 2 inches tall, about maybe 2 feet wide. And the slums, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that a race of people, you are united within your race. And this is from the government up. Because the government is at the bottom, as far as I'm concerned. It's the people that's supposed to be at the top. That's why I say from the government up, but I put them in the bottom. Although they were primarily morally responsible for their citizens, that shit brought tears to my eyes.
It's the same and I correlated it to here, right, to where we are, but it's everywhere. Like even in the Asian, Japanese and Chinese, the whiter you are, the more pure you are. I mean, they even in where I live in an Asian community, Asian and Mexican, and they'll wear, when they're walking around, walking their dogs, they wear a veil thing over their face to protect their skin from getting any melanin. And, and that's why you see the geisha girls are painted in white, because they needed to appeal to the white soldiers, right? They needed to appeal to certain people. And so the colorism, yes, is definitely worldwide. It's not just here. It's just being here because we have so many nationalities and ethnicities here for your own. It's just sad to me.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
This is for both of y'all. Both of y'all can answer, back to back, right? It struck me, right, as odd, right, when you said it's everywhere. Like I like to analyze and listen and dissect and listen to what's said and not being said. I mean, people make certain statements that I feel are relative. Like I don't like putting anything in my brain that I don't consider beneficial knowledge. If it's not beneficial knowledge, if I can't benefit from knowing about it and I can't pass it to somebody else that can benefit, I don't want to know about it.
Right.
I don't. When you mention that it's everywhere, racism, colorism in particular, everywhere, I had to ask myself the question, like, is America responsible for the advent of colorism around the globe? For example, I'm asking myself, what was other countries like? What was other nations like when America was dealing with slavery? When America was dealing with slavery for that 401 years, what was other countries like? How did they fare? How did they fare amongst each other, race-wise? Now I got a mission to go on.
Well, let's look at Africa.
Huh?
Let's look at Africa. There's South Africa, and you know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of white Africans. And it's the same there. Like in Australia, it's the same there. Like, I don't know about the time frames or the slavery during the slavery, if it was like that or if it developed after. That would be something to look up.
Right, real quick. The sister Tarani Woodley, she just texted. She said she thinks that colonizing throughout history caused colorism, and that's an excellent point.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that's crazy, man.
All
Hey, I'm feeding off you. I think it's an excellent point. Like, I mean, the colorism thing is serious, and especially when it comes to our people. You know what I mean? We are our harshest critics. We judge each other more than anyone else, and it's sad. And it's almost like no matter how much we speak about it and talk about it, it continues because some of us don't see ourselves as worthy. Some of us see each other as competition. Some of us see each other as the enemy, and some of us see ourselves as better than the next one. I understand what you're saying because, like, let me give you an example. I go on the mall, and I mentioned this last show. I'm a dark-skinned brother, right? I believe I'm darker than both of you. So I go in the mall or any store, department store, and I'm more likely to be followed than a lighter, fairer-skinned brother or sister because my melanin is so deep, it's so strong, making me darker. Dark-skinned men have been portrayed as a threat.
Demonized.
It goes back to what the sister's saying about colonizing throughout history. That's called colorism. Because we can go to way back when, and we can talk about that all day. We're talking in 2021, and that shit still exists. And it bothers me that I'm walking down the street, or I have two Caucasian people walking up the street this yesterday. And I turn the corner because I'm trying to go down to the store. But while they're straight on the street, they don't see me yet. As soon as I turn, they cross the street. Now, they don't know I'm more afraid of them than they are me. Because all the screaming and the police come, they're seeing a dark-skinned man. Colorism, they're seeing a dark-skinned brother. These people said X, Y, and Z. Now I'm hit. I got to go through whatever I have to go through. Same way we're in the mall. I'm shopping, minding my business. I got my credit cards. I want to shop. I'm not here for nothing else. I'm being followed. Sir, you need any help? No, ma'am. I need some help. I'll let you know. Next rap. You need some help? No, ma'am. I just told you when I need. I'll let you know. Sir, you need some help? Randy over there is stealing every damn thing.
Wow.
Somebody else is stealing it all. Or even a lighter skinned brother or sister don't get the heat I get. Now, when it comes back to us, it's a sad thing because, like I'm saying, we judge each other so harshly, man. And it's sad. It's sad. And it pisses me off all the time, not some of the time, all the time. When I see a light-skinned, we go into a spot, the light-skinned brother may even get a little bit more edge getting in before me because there's a certain tone they want to set on it inside of the venue. You know what I mean? Consciously and subconsciously. So I get what you're saying, and I agree. I'm with you on that.
You know, I mean, and then, you know, but even in current times, like the indoctrination still so loud and people have spoke on it, but no one's tried to change it or steer their children from it. But even in Disney movies, dark is bad, light is good. You know what I'm saying? Like Scar had to have it in Lion King. Scar had to have the dark mane. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like they indoctrinated still to this day, right in our face, and no one's paying attention.
Disney has a history of that.
Hollywood is look.
No, I'm just
Hollywood,
Disney does have a history of that, but so many other things. Hollywood.
No. I'm talking about in terms of indoctrinating children.
Oh, absolutely.
They lead the way with that.
Yeah.
Hollywood has caught on to, especially Disney has caught on to it just a little bit. From the Dr. Seuss's books being, a lot of them being banned just recently. I forgot the little kids TV program. So they're catching up slowly. But I think too, with that, this cancel culture shit is going a little way too far. Because it's like now you can't say anything, you can't do anything. Everybody's so sensitive. A man can't even be a man no more because he's too sensitive. You know what I mean? You can't say something about a certain group of people. This is bad. I can't even express under the first. I have a right to say what I want to say as long as the right doesn't infringe on your well-being, me harming you or talking about the government and overthrowing the government. It's freedom of speech.
Yeah, you can't. It's hard to even talk about your own personal experiences anymore because it'll offend someone.
More anywhere. You understand what I'm saying? So Hollywood is cleaning up a little bit, but back to what you're saying, this colorism thing is mean and it's sickening. You know what I mean? And anytime I see it and I peep it, I call it out, or I just pull a brother or sister to the side and we'll talk about it. If they get it, they get it. If they don't, I did what I had to do. You know what I mean? I direct the words towards the right. If you accept it, it's okay. If you reject it, you don't want to hear it, I keep it pushing. As long as what you're doing is not impeding my progress and my movement, we good money.
Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing it a lot with men too. Like if you're light skinned, you're considered a pretty boy. And men don't like being called pretty boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but not by another man. Men don't want another man call him a pretty boy. You know what I mean? I'm just reflecting right now on what my limited knowledge of history, right? Like, the black family, like we're partially responsible for this colorism thing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because, and I'm gonna make my point, and I'm gonna pass the mic, right? I'm 55. I was born in 65, right? I remember when it was in vogue for black women to wear afro just as large as black men.
Mm-hmm.
I remember it was in vogue. She had the afro, but from the crown of her head to the bottom of her feet, to the palms of soles of her feet, she was a woman. She had the afro, but from the crown of her head to the soles of her feet, she was a beautiful queen, right? And I also remember the advent of the straightening comb, sisters sacrificing their pain. You understand? From here, getting this thing straightening comb from here. You know what I mean? And I remember being in families' houses, and you could smell the hair cooking in the kitchen with the straightening comb. They straighten their hair. Like we went from the afros and the dashikis, you understand, to the tight-fitting clothes, the short-fitting clothes. You understand? The revealing for women to the revealing clothing to now we straightening our hair. Straight hair. Now, with that being said, television, that's why at a certain point in the black community in the 70s and 80s, there was the phrase television. You know what I mean? We call television television, telling lies to your vision, telling lies to your mind. You understand? Again, this goes back to indoctrination. We were talking about a few weeks ago, we were talking about indoctrination. We were talking about billboards and how silent promotions are the most deadly form of promotion as far as a brand is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, I remember we had 5 channels on TV. There was no cable, there was no internet, there was no computer. Computers was being, put on paper. You know what I mean? It wasn't in rotation. It wasn't in production. Dudes was in the background scheming, putting together the blueprints for computers. You understand? In the 60s, but primarily we had 5 TV stations: 2, 4, 5, 9, and 11, and then 13. At about 1, 2 in the morning, all you heard was and you see nothing but black and white fuzz.
Hey, I
Time,
talk about that in my book.
time to take you behind the bed. Lights out, homie. TV is off. FCC has relaxed the rules. Good night. But I'm just saying that to say 99% of the shows and the commercials that we saw was of fairer skinned people. Most of the toys for girls, it was white dolls with blue eyes, blonde hair. They didn't start changing the texture and the color of white baby dolls until the 70s and the 80s. Primarily, most of the dolls had blonde hair, fair skin, green eyes, blue eyes, or red hair. And our children and our daughters was given these dolls for Christmas. Remember the test that the doctor did on something, put it on social media, where she gave the baby girl the black doll, the white doll, and gave the white girl the black doll. How that white girl reacted to that black doll when that black doll was created in production. How the black girl reacted to the black doll over the white doll. We're primarily, responsible for the come up in our community and the downfall. And I mentioned a couple of weeks ago on the program, right? That black culture, shit that we embrace and we take, you understand, and we call it ours. It is slowly but surely eroding the moral fabric of the black community, and it's setting us back and it's bringing us down instead of bringing us up.
Yeah, part of that study that you're talking about, they did actual social study where they put a series of black little girls and white little girls, and they would have pictures of different shades, and they would ask them which one is pretty and which one is ugly. And even the little black girls would think that dark was ugly. And it's funny because my son's father is like Malik's shade, right? Probably even darker. But my son is fair skinned, right? He's caramel. But when he was little, I don't know where he got this from because it's not in the home. I don't know if it was the cartoons he was watching or what. But I remember we were out at the beach or outside playing. We came back and he was real dark, right? And he was in the bathtub and he started to cry. He was 4 years old. I don't want to be black. He cried, and I'm just like, where is this? Wow. Where does this come from? Now, he probably, what I'm saying, he don't care. But when he was 4, because he wasn't taught that in the home for show. So it used to make me wonder, like, is it the subliminal messages in the Disney or in the TV shows or what? Because he was devastated because he was dark.
That's crazy. 4 years old, crying about the skin getting dark because of the sun.
Absolutely. I was devastated for him. Like, I was that's when I knew at that age, at 4, I had to start educating him immediately. Education starts now, right? Because, and I remember he'll talk to you about it today. He's almost 19. So right then, there used to be a cartoon version of Martin Luther King's story. And in it is a cartoon version of it for kids about the story of Martin Luther King and the civil rights movements, right? But in this cartoon, and my son was 4 years old, but he still remembers it to this day. It was the first thing I was like, okay, we're gonna sit down and watch this. But they had clips of real footage of the dogs attacking people and the hoses and the beatings by the police. And my son was so devastated he would never watch it again. So I had to handle him with kid gloves because he was very sensitive to the topic, and people, it's important to pay attention to the cues that your children are giving you, because they're giving you cues. They're letting you know that they're bothered by not understanding why I'm different than the other person. They're not understanding why mommy's light, daddy's dark. You know what I mean? They're not understanding, and they're feeling confused. And so I had to start educating, but this is one of the reasons why I took my son out of school in 5th grade and began to homeschool him, because I did not want him to keep being indoctrinated by bullshit. I was like, I refuse because, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay, what is indoctrination, right? Indoctrination is repetition, either by visual or verbal. The more you're told something over and over and over again, remember, get your black ass over there.
Absolutely.
Your nappy head,
Get your
black ass.
high yellow ass over here.
Get your high yellow ass over there. And see, our parents didn't know what they were doing, but what they were in fact doing was reinforcing insecurities into us about ourselves, how we saw ourselves. Get your yellow ass over there, your black ass over there. Remember the girls back in the day, your nappy head, black ass. And her always had to either black followed or came before. And so when you're talking about indoctrination, you're talking about a repetition visual. This is what you see on television every day. This is what you see on billboard. This is what you see outside. This is what you may see in the household. So if you're seeing and hearing that time and time and time again, just like the days of old, the light-skinned women or fair-skinned women, they were always in the house. And the Negro, the darker-skinned men, were in the field. Now, they had some exceptions to the rules here and there, but mainly, white closer to white was always seen as better.
As the house Negro, right.
Exactly. So when you started the conversation off about the girl talking about, in a sense, you think you all that, why can't women emulate women, man? Why y'all hate each other so much to the point? Why can't be? Damn, that's a beautiful sister over there.
That's how I am. That's how I am.
Right. I like your hair. Give a compliment and say, "Oh, you think?" I don't think I'm all that. That's you that think that. I'm just doing me today. I'm not out of character, out of line. I'm not walking around here acting like I'm better than you. I see and I got sisters. If I know y'all on, I have to say it. And not our viewers. I know it ain't y'all.
No, it ain't them.
Okay. You gotta do more supporting each other. Absolutely. I see women at their lowest form sometimes, so beautiful on the outside, but on the inside, their hearts is dirty, their minds is dirty, because instead of complimenting another woman and trying to lift her up, don't tear her down, lift her up.
Look, this is triggering something else for me right now, because now along with the colorism is the educationism, meaning I just made that word up for me for this topic. But look, the educationism, right? The unhealthy condition caused by, that's what ism is, an unhealthy condition caused by the miseducation, right? So how about when our people and someone's talking with proper etiquette and proper context and sound educated, now all of a sudden
you sound white.
You sound white.
You
sound black. Or you think you all that because you educated. We keep demonizing. I know a whole lot of people of color who are educated and studious, went in school in their younger years, and they're picked on the whole time. And so it's another, not colorism, but now it's educationism. Like, why do we keep beating our people up? Like, I was talking to a young sister, 3 days ago, and I had an hour and a half talk with a sister because she was raised by white people. And she's dark like Malik, but she was in the belief that, you know, she needed to be white, like blacks are bad. That's how she was taught, or what she believed, and that's how she was treated in school. And so she's very articulate, very well spoken, intelligent, and we had that talk about, just because you talk educated, right? I ain't gonna say white. Educated does not mean that you a sellout. It doesn't mean, you know what I'm saying? But why do our people keep demonizing each other like this?
But
then we want to contradict ourselves and we say we need to be educated, which is
again, it goes back to ignorance within our own homes as black families in the black community. This shit was going on in the 60s. Like I said, I'm 55. I remember seeing things, right, that I still remember, that I talked to my aunts and them about, right, that are older in their 70s, that I saw when I was 2, 3, and 4 years old. Things that I've heard, right, that I remember, and who said it, right, and things that I saw, right. So I'm just thinking back when you said, one thing I hate, man, one of my Achilles heels, my pet peeves, man, was somebody say, "Oh, you think you all that?" I thank God I've never been addressed that way by anybody.
I have once or twice.
I'm just thankful I haven't, because I heard people say that about other people. He think he all that. And I would look at dude, and I got so tired of hearing that guy. I said, yo, homie, did you hear what you just said? Like, what's up with you and that dude? You don't even know that dude. Ah, yeah, he think he all that. That you want to extort him, you want to rob him, you want to chump him, you want to punk him. I'm like, nah, homie, he don't think he all that. You looking at that dude and you telling yourself, damn, he all that, and it bothers you because you recognize another man, homie. Let's keep it a buck. You're bothered because you recognize the power in that man. You recognize that man's masculinity and his manhood, and it bothers you because you gave visual to it. Because you said you told yourself he think he all that, and now you throwing it up on us in the yard. I don't want to hear that shit, homie. You deal with that shit internally, bro. And I got mad after the fact, and I had to walk away, and I kind of felt like I went a little bit too hang. He was my little homie, you know what I mean? But I felt like I went a little hard on him, but it just came out hard on him because I got tired of hearing that kind of shit, man, from dude. You think you all that. She thinks she all that. No, you think that person is all that. Maybe they are. Maybe you just not that. Not you. You know, you
know what my response is? I don't think I'm all that. I am all that. I don't think it. I know it.
But I don't in a cocky way.
Or we used to say, you think you all that in a bag of chips.
Yeah. But again, it comes from ignorance within our own homes. You understand? Because I remember, man, certain phrases, you understand, certain etiquette, certain things that we say that we adopt. You understand? Just like racism, young white people, young white children may hear the N-word from their parents in the home, and that becomes an indoctrination, like the brother just said. You understand? Now we've indoctrinated. We've indoctrinated. Some of us have been indoctrinated. You understand? By people who we should have looked up to, right? Who should have been, wise enough not to say. There was give an example. I'm gonna shut up. Most Caucasian people, when their children are around and there's violence occurring, whether it's in the street or on TV, they cover their eyes. In the movie, they cover their eyes, cover their ears, right? Because they understand indoctrination. You understand? They don't want them to see that, and they ain't want them to hear that. I've seen it a number of times. Caucasian people covering their children's eyes and ears so they don't see and hear certain things, man. We don't. I've never ever seen, right, an African American person, right? I've never seen a Latino person or an Asian person do that. Cover their children's eyes and ears so they don't see something negative, and be educated by it. I don't know why they close. I didn't know why then. I know now. I think I know now. You know what I mean?
But there's been generations too where I've seen, and I've been around it in different states. And also everything's, there's subcultures within cultures, right? And I've seen, like, in the South, where I've seen grannies tell their kid, man, nah, you ain't finna go do this over here because you ain't never gonna be shit anyway. Like, and a lot of that, it's because they, it wasn't that long ago where people of color weren't allowed to do that. The 60s, the 70s, I mean, the 40s, the 50s, that wasn't that long ago. It really wasn't. It seems like it, but it wasn't that long ago that, the segregation was here. There wasn't that long ago where it was constantly told that you will never do nothing because of your skin color or because of your race and ethnicity. So it wasn't that long ago. It really, really wasn't. And so the old timers, who unfortunately were the brunt direct product of those teachings, didn't know better to teach it different moving forward. So, and so I can see and understand why, especially with the education piece. A lot of people didn't want. Look, I'm gonna tell you a story, and this is important for me. I don't know about anybody else. When I got out of prison, I was a 13-year-old dropout. I had a 13-year-old education. I'm 27 years old, getting out of the penitentiary. 2 years later, someone talked me into going to school, right? I didn't even know what a prerequisite was. Didn't know what a syllabus was, right? And I got to a certain stage. I got an AA degree, and I was just like, oh, shit. was actually smart and didn't know it. Like, I didn't even know. Who would have thought? Like, I'm telling you, I didn't know what a prerequisite was. We don't use the word prerequisite in the hood. I remember when they said syllabi, I couldn't, it took me 2 weeks to pronounce syllabi. Right? I didn't know what a FAFSA was, or I didn't know it going to the admissions office. We didn't even use, look, in prison it was R&R. We didn't call it admissions. Like, I never used these terms, right? So once I got to a certain place and I actually got accepted to my bachelor's level, I got accepted to 5 universities with distinction. I didn't know what distinction meant. I probably could have Googled it, but I didn't. I didn't know, you know what I'm saying, what it meant to be on a dean's list. And I was on the national dean's list, didn't understand it. So I couldn't even be excited about it because I didn't know. I was just I'm just showing up to class. That's all I'm doing, passing out Willie Lynch letters at the school, right? So power to the people. And so, but I got to a place, y'all, where everything that we're talking about came into full view for me. I started to regress in my development because I felt I was leaving my people behind. Because the indoctrination that if you're educated, you think you better than. You're educated, you're leaving us behind. If you're educated and go on that side, you're a sellout. You don't left your people. And so I went through a phase for about a year where I started to hang out in the hood more or have hood people around me more because I was scared to deal with the Caucasians or the educated people on the other side because I didn't know nothing about them. I was scared to death. I was like, I don't know how to deal with these people. I don't even know how to talk to them, right? So I went through that battle, and I don't know, not many people talk about it, but I went through a battle where I felt like I was a sellout the more educated I became. And
that's
it was a bad place. It was a bad place for me. And I mean, for real, it was a big deal. And finally, someone shook me, this brother, rest in peace, who was my mentor. He said, check this out, Queen. If I ever hear you say that again, we're going to have a problem. You ain't leaving nobody behind. But that's why the movements that I still do today, because I do see people get their life together and move on and do forget where they come from. But that's why I do the nonprofits that I do, and I'm the activist that I am, because I never want to forget where I come from. But I'm also blessed to have had some people that were educated to push me in that direction so that I could educate others. You know what I mean? I'm so grateful for that sister. You know what I'm saying? And that brother that mentored me through that, because I went through that myself. Like, I felt like I was selling out and I was going to quit school. And it was ugly.
You know what's so messed up about that, which is a good thing, is that our own people sometimes can make you feel like to be educated and to be articulate is almost a bad thing. So it causes sort of a slight insecurity within ourselves. Well, if I'm over here too much with these educated people, my people over here is going to reject me and look at me in a way that, oh, you a sellout. Now, if I stay over here with my people all the time, I'm never going to reach that level where I could be if I continue to build. And this is why the three of us, do what we do twice a week, to be able to educate, to be able to share these stories, to be able to inspire, to give people, if you don't have any hope, if you don't have a plan, of dreams, goals, visions, or whatever, you can come in and get it the real from us. You know what I mean? Because it's always sad when I hear something like that. You know what I mean? Looking back, being the man I am now, and to be made to feel like, oh, she talks a certain way, so she thinks she all of that, and she thinks she's smart. No, I'm just bettering myself and putting myself in better spaces to have more opportunities, so I can come back and get your ignorant ass. Since because oftentimes when we educate ourselves, we're looking to move to a better position, correct? In life, or whatever we're trying to do. So if we're educated and we have knowledge and we done gotten this door, now I can come back and get some of my people.
Absolutely.
So for all of those that think oh, you think you all that? Guess what? You are. Because you doing something that the haters, the jealous people, the ignorant, and the foolish wish they can be doing. And guess what? They want to do it, but they don't have the heart and they don't have
Passion.
that model and that passion. Because some of us, not us, some people would rather stay. We all from the hood. All of us from the street. All of us been in the PJs in hard times. You're not telling me nothing I don't know or haven't experienced. You understand what I'm saying? Do I want to stay there? Of course not. I want to be able to get out, get up, and then come back and get my people. Because I'm always going home. I know where I come from, but
that's
I don't
why
always
that's why we are where we're at, though, because our purpose became bigger than us.
Exactly.
Our purpose is bigger than us, and you know, and I'm glad that I brought this topic up because you know it made me kind of sit here and reflect when you were talking. Like, damn, I've had a few battles. Like I wasn't light enough, I wasn't dark enough, I wasn't dumb enough, I was too educated. Like, you know what I'm saying? These battles that we go through that people don't talk about. You know what I mean?
Man. It's crazy. Yeah, I see you.
Received a full scholarship for college. And
I was getting ready to touch on that, man.
Okay, go ahead, bro. You
did it. No, I'm glad you did it. Go ahead.
Said the college wrote an article on him as well. Well, guess what? Ramon, we shout you out. We salute you. Keep growing. You know what I mean? Keep educating yourself. Keep getting better. Don't let anybody sidetrack you and tell you doing some cornball, weak, whack ass, whatever. You know what I mean? Because with that education, you could do a lot, and you can go a lot of places. It is good to have a brain that can think. That's a good thing. Remember,
imagine that.
Listen, remember Wizard of Oz? What did the scarecrow want the most?
A brain.
A brain. What did the lion want the most? He wanted a heart.
No, he wanted courage.
He wanted courage. The other one wanted a heart.
Tin Man wanted the heart. Yeah.
Wanted a heart. Okay. So, okay, and the lion wanted courage. It takes courage. It takes a heart. You got to have courage to get that brain right so you can move forward and take care of your family, take care of yourself, and then go back and get your people if that's what you choose to do. So we at the sit down, brother, man, we salute you. Keep growing. Hey, I just wanted to say this right quick. Along what we was talking about. I was on the Friends page 3 days ago. And if you're watching, bro, this is no shade, because I still mess with you because I had to write him and let him know I still, mess with him and shit. But he put on his page, he said, anybody out there can tell me who graduated from high school and don't have a felony? So I looked at it. So, of course, all the people, me. So I'm like, hold on a second. So I said to him, I went on this page, I said, bro, you know how many multi-millionaires is in this world right now?
That went to prison?
That's in the industry making movies, don't have a GED, and got felonies. Didn't go to high school and have felonies, and got more paper than anybody. So I said, well, you put that up to say what? That because you don't have a felony and you graduate high school, you're better than the people who do have a felony and didn't go to high school?
Hey, I have a story like that, though. I have a friend who is, I knew him back in my screw-up days, but he was always like what we call square. He was always level-headed in college and all of that, right? So now, years later, I'm on this side. He's a big-time person, millionaire, and I got accepted to USC. And he was like, he actually called me. He said, how the hell did an ex-convict high school dropout get into USC and I couldn't?
Shit, motivation.
I said, keep coming back, boo. Keep going back, boo.
Yeah,
don't
USC.
Hate the player, hate the game.
University of Southern California ain't no joke.
No, it's not. I just got, I don't know if I told you, I got accepted to my, I did. I got accepted to my doctorates, but I turned it down so I could be of service to the community.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Ramon, as we say, she wrote back, yeah, keep doing it. Keep doing it. God is good. Let nobody
yeah,
tell
that's
you
a
that.
fact.
Nobody tell you
That's
different.
talk about it. Hey, hey,
Huh?
and let Ramon know. Don't go up in there, jumping with them, getting with them parties this first semester. A lot of college kids get caught up in the parties the first semester and think they got time to waste when they going for a 4 year, when they got a 4 year ride. You still gotta catch up, man. I mean, you want to be ahead of the ball, not behind it, you know. But this colorism thing is just, like I said before, man, we here to sit down, man. We talk from experience, man. Something we lived through, survived, experienced directly, and we got to do we got to do a better job, man. For those of us, for those of us who have a certain age, understand, and with a certain level mentally. Teaching is not meant for everybody. And when I say teaching, I'm not talking about scholastically. I'm not talking about in the school behind the desk. I'm talking about sharing knowledge, man. It's not for everybody. You know what I mean? Everybody don't have knowledge to give. Everybody don't want to have knowledge to give, or just to have. Period. Some people just want to go to work or just live their daily life, go to bed, wake up, go to bed, wake up, and that's it for them. You know what I mean? But we got to remember we're responsible for two things when it comes to people, right? What comes out of our mouth and what they see us do.
Absolutely.
When it comes to the young people, we're responsible for two things, man, as adults. What comes out of our mouth around them and what they see us do. Because once you say it and you do it, you can't take it back. And it's going to be hella hard trying to explain to a kid what you did when they come and question you on some dumb ish that you did or some dumb ish you said around them, and they come and they question you about why you say that. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, just Miss Pose, don't
Hey,
worry
so
about
I
it,
have a
sis.
question. I have a
That to me
question.
anyway. Huh?
I have a question. Do you know that it is only our people that ask me this question anytime I meet them? And that is, what do you mix with? Before they ask my age, where I'm from, the
Oh, you're the
first
only one?
question, the first thing they ask me
That's
is, what do you,
crazy,
but
bro.
no other race asks me that.
Well, I mean, I think I'm not going to defend. I'm not going to defend the ignorance in that statement, but sometimes we feel like as people, because we have a connection, you understand, we have a right to say we want to say and ask certain dumbass questions, like it's not going to be received as offensive. You know what I mean? It's not defending them, but some of us are so comfortable, man, with each other, man, that we say some of the dumbest things, man, and not realize it's offensive. And I had a
I be like, I'm
conversation.
mixed with my mommy and my daddy. That's what
That's it, man. I had
mixed
a
with my
serious
mom and
talk.
dad.
Yeah, I had a serious talk to somebody today, man, about suggestive behavior. You understand, and suggestive statements and saying things that you don't even know. You're saying it one way, but somebody else is perceiving it and taking it another way. And the way that you put it out there, it may not be meant with no intent to be harmful, but that person might, by the harm. But I had to, profusely apologize because this person
Right.
is someone that's close to me, and I didn't know that the person felt that way. You understand? And I was like, damn, I didn't even know. You understand that? She said, "Was you out being sarcastic?" I'm like, when? Why would I do that? When you're around my brothers,
Hey,
you're around my mother. I'm like, really? I had to think back, like, damn, I didn't know. I mean, it wasn't my intention. So with that being said, I apologize.
who?
No, I had a
Oh,
conversation today with someone
oh.
close to me, and they were saying, so they brought some things to my attention, and I had to take a look at that because, like I said, is we responsible for what we say and what we do around people, man. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Oh,
Miss
And I
Rose,
you
Miss Rose,
shocked.
Miss Rose.
I was shocked. I was shocked when you said when people look at you and ask what you mix with, because as crazy as it might sound, I get that question. Yo, what you mix with? You
yeah,
have
because you're
Trini,
totally hit.
That's because your
or
hair.
Yeah,
you have Trini, you have this. I'm all a black. Let's get that straight.
Trinidadians are all black too, so it wouldn't even matter.
Exactly. So, and I've gotten old, you think you all that. I'd be like, yo, dude, what the hell? That's some, excuse me, that's some female stuff. We don't do that to all other men. Talking about telling another man, you think you all that. Oh, your
yeah,
hair's good.
man.
You got your hair.
Yeah.
got it from my father. You're gonna have to ask him. You can go down his grave site in North Carolina and bang on the dirt and ask him. Okay, because I'm tired of asking. You know what I mean? People ask this dumbest questions sometimes and say
Yeah.
this stupid, and then they
And
wonder
you,
the response they get. They say like, "What's wrong with him? No, what's wrong with you?"
and you
The
know what's
woman,
crazy?
Miss Rose says you. Miss Rose says you mix with chocolate and mocha.
I'll take that. Damn it, I'll take that.
Hey
All that
yo,
up.
you
Go ahead.
yo, you know what's crazy, bro? I'm sitting there like, and I'm thinking it back real quick, man, to when I found out that I'm mixed with. I got a little sprinkle of Cherokee Indian in my blood, right? Like
Me too.
Fantasia. That's
Me too.
Fantasia. That's her father, Joe Barino, is my mother's first cousin. And my grandmother, Juanita Barino, she's the Cherokee Indian. You understand? I got a little spit of that in me. But I was just thinking about when I went down south, I was like 5 or 6 or 7, 8 years old. And I found out about that because when I went to go see it for the first time that I remembered at like 8 or 9 years old, I was about 7 or 8. This is when my pops came into my life and then broke out like a clown. Yes. Yeah. So we get down there and we get on the porch, and my grandmother, she had her hair parted in the middle and these 2 long ass braids that was silver. And you could look at her skin and you could see her skin was kissed by the sun 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and the sun don't shine 24/7. But she just had it. And so then, it was brought to my attention, you understand, why she looked that way. And so I was like, wow, I'm Indian too. So my people was like, yeah, you Cherokee Indian, you part Cherokee Indian. I got back to New York. I didn't want to be black. I'm Indian. I'm Cherokee Indian. Everything was,
No.
yeah, I'm Cherokee Indian.
Yes. So
I ran with
listen.
that shit. But
Listen,
with
it's
just
funny
that
though.
quick, just that quick, I came back to New York and forgot that I was black. I didn't want to be
That
black. I
goes
wanted
back
to
to
be
that
Indian.
colorism
It
we
goes
talking
back
about
to the
today.
colorism.
Yo,
The darker you are,
yo,
you want to
yo,
dark skin want to go out
bro.
their way to prove that they mixed with some shit. The
Word,
light
man.
skinned wants to prove that they black enough.
And you
And
know
then
why? And you know why that happened to me that way? Because
it's true.
this goes back to what I mentioned earlier about the 60s. We got the afros, right? And I remember we went from the afro to the straightening comb. I remember being in families' houses and seeing my female cousins getting their hair from the blow up from the afro to the straightening comb.
I
I
love the
remember seeing
blowout.
I remember seeing cousins getting their joint, the afro blow, straightened and combed out. You understand? So guess who followed the leader? Ma, can you straighten my hair? I
You
asked
got
my mom,
perm. That's when perms came in.
and I asked her, I had to straighten the comb with a hot iron on the stove. That shit was turning red like fire. And she put that shit, you hear the hair frying.
Okay,
So when she
Shad.
did it, she did it just to teach me a lesson, bro. So when it was over, after she straightened out my joint, first of all, she burnt my neck all back here, my side with that hot iron, and probably intentionally to teach me a lesson. When it was done, and I couldn't wait to run look in the mirror, she knew I wasn't gonna like it. I looked in the mirror, I looked like a monkey, bro. You know how monkeys got their hair standing straight up, the little chimpanzees, the little joints with their hair standing up straight. And I'm looking at my hair, and I'm like, what the fuck? I looked at my mother, she's like, what, you don't like it? I was like, looking in the mirror, I'm like, yo, this shit look crazy. It was about this long, about 2 inches long, right? About 2 inches long, 2.5 inches long. But it just looked crazy, straight, just standing up straight like that. So once I washed my hair, it went back to its natural texture. But the moral of the story is that I went to North Carolina, found that I got Cherokee Indian in my blood. I done seen so many cowboy Indian movies before I went down to North Carolina, right? Because I was the Indian, I was the cowboy at first, right? I couldn't because the cowboy was the villain. He was the hero. Most of the time in cowboy Indian movies when we was kids. But when I came back from NC and I found that I got some Cherokee in my blood, I'm Indian now.
Hey,
Colorism.
my son still does that.
Colorism.
My son, look, one of the girls in the chat, D, can tell you right now.
Hey, what's up, Ramon? What's up, the twins?
I told my son, I'm gonna knock the black out of you. He said, it's all right, because I'm still Cuban, right? So he's like, I'm still a person, because like, you can't knock the black out of me, right? So, but what's interesting about what you're saying is that the insanity of like, let's go back to Motown, right? That's when men started to perm their hair, right? And that's when everyone else in the world was like, oh, well, they doing it, I can do it, right? So that's when everyone starts perming their hair. But they did that. People don't understand. They watch the movies, but they're not paying attention to why they did it. They did it to assimilate and do so they can cross over to the white viewers, to the white listeners. They were trying, because if not, they were stealing their music and putting some white people's voices on it. And
That's
so
right.
they were like, look, we need to cross over, right, in order to be successful. And that's when they started perming their hair. You know what I mean? So back to what you said a million times, Malik, the entertainment industry is the devil. You didn't say that. Those are my words, but they are evil. They
Yeah,
are
it's a lot
evil.
of people.
But,
A
you know,
lot of people
it's
are
just
black
crazy,
people.
though. The dark skin trying to be lighter or but mixed with something, light skin and want to be mixed with, you know, darker black. It's just, you know.
I don't understand. I don't understand. Me personally, I've never been. Now, my mother wasn't. She was hands on with teaching, but it was dealing with math, reading, and science. But when it came to knowledge itself and all that kind of stuff, very rarely my mama would look at me and she was like, "You my God sent child." You understand? You're my God sent child. That was enough to instill in me the pride that her eyes was conveying. You
Right.
understand? She didn't have to teach me about Black history from the perspective of we were once kings and queens and we ruled this and we ruled that.
Very rarely
She
people teach
didn't,
that.
yeah, but she didn't need to because her eyes said it all. You understand? And the love she showed me, it definitely spoke volumes. You understand? But it just goes back to the brother just mentioned it about an hour when we first came on. You understand? Indoctrination. You know what I mean? And I think you need to touch on that shit again, Oran, because we got a lot of people that just tuning in and they didn't catch that.
Like that.
Indoctrination is serious, man.
Indoctrination is repetition. What we
Yeah,
physically, visually see and verbally hear. If you hear something over and over and over and over and over again, if you see something over and over and over and over again, and it's purposely promoted towards you and to you, you have become indoctrinated. You black ass, get your black ass over there. I
that
said it
shit.
before. Get your nappy black ass head over there. What you said about the light skin, sis?
What?
When you said get your red ass over there,
Get your
what?
high yellow ass over here.
Get your high, yo. See, our
I heard
parents
that a
Look,
didn't.
million
even in prison, my homies would call me piss color.
Yeah, but our parents and even kids are cruel. Oh, you so black. Your nappy ass head. Oh, she red bone and she thinks she all that. Like when you hear these things, it reinforces a negative image that you start to hear about yourself. And when it's promoted to you and given to you visually and verbally every day, that's indoctrination, is repetition
That's a
over,
fact, bro.
over again, either visual, you know what I mean? Back in the
Yeah,
days, they beat they beat the slaves so bad, and I don't want to make our shit all the time about like we're angry, we was talking about slavery, but it's facts. They beat the slaves so bad, they made them feel inferior. Boy, 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 you're not even a man. Boy. Oh. So repetition over and over and over again. And when you're told that so much and you see that all the time, it's indoctrination. You'll become that. It's just repetition. Be it visual. Today, street signs, the whole nine. It's indoctrination, man. When you hear, even with the news. So I said it already, bro. I don't want to, you know what I mean? You know, if they want to hear it again, they can rewind the tape, catch it on the replay.
Yeah,
but it's real.
I'm looking at the chat, and what's funny is they were talking about nappy head and all of that. I'm looking at all my kids and grandkids wear afros, every single one of them,
Y'all seen the pictures, yeah.
and they're proud. Every single one of them, from the 2-year-old all the way up to the 30-year-old,
Y'all
they
seen
all
some
sport
pictures.
afros. And it's crazy though. My son, Mr. Pretty Boy, right, Mr. Pretty Boy, he has been through those phases where he was mad because his hair is it's mixed hair, right? So it's an afro, and some parts it'll be straighter than others, and some parts it'll be more kinkier than others. And he's mad because his hair is not kinky enough, right? So I think a lot of it is like what Malik has said. It's the upbringing and what's being heard in the family and the home. You know, because first of all, saying good hair, that person got good hair, that is a problem in itself, right?
They
It
did a
goes
study,
with
good hair, bad hair study.
Did you see the movie?
I didn't see
hair.
the movie,
Black-
but I've been studying.
You heard about
Good
that
hair,
movie? Good hair, bad hair.
Mm-hmm.
No, I've seen the
That's how
movie
the
called
movie.
Hair. I forgot what was the
Not,
whole name.
they made a
Matter of fact,
movie,
our
Good Hair, Bad Hair, and it
There was a
showed
movie. Yeah,
that
go ahead, bro. No, go ahead.
the study showed how, especially with girls, women or little girls, how one set of young ladies felt about their kinky hair or otherwise nappy hair, as opposed to the other group of girls who had somewhat nice hair. It was more straight in how they felt about themselves versus the ones with the kinky or nappy hair, so to speak. Oh, it was a hell of a documentary, and they did a study on it. But I find that really important. And so, ladies, y'all need to, if you have daughters, you need to show them that. And just recently, all in the news where kids are being suspended because they have dreads or
Braids.
or they have braids, is
but
because certain part of a certain group of people don't understand our culture and they don't understand our race, and they believe that,
absolutely.
you know, dreads or something evil or demonic or just bad, or having, you know, micros or cornrows or whatever it is that's a bad thing because you don't fit. You look different. You understand what I'm saying? And my daughter and our kids have straight hair, and you kind of offend us and you throw us off when you come here looking like that. That doesn't fit our dress code and the way we like to see things. And when you reinforce that in a kid over and over and over, they start to believe they're worthless. They're not worthy. Something's wrong with them. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? So,
Or even when we talk amongst each other, though, we're like, hey, the girl with the good hair, the one with the
yeah,
nappy hair.
Becky
You
with
know,
the good
even when
hair.
we're referring to, you know, if I've seen my homeboys checking out a female, like I like the
Yeah.
one with the good hair, like, you know what I mean? We
Yo,
do it
even
within our culture.
even when I was in them streets doing a bunch of ignorance and I was on an ignorant path, right? I still wasn't with the colorism. I still wasn't on some red bone. My first real light skinned, fairer skinned girl was Amanda on Woodruff, right?
Man, mhm.
Amanda. Now excuse me. Prior to that, right? The girl that I had my eyes on the hardest, her name was Deidre. Deidre was very, very dark skinned. Understand? And when I first looked at Deidre, I said, damn, she lived on Woodruff and Flatbush. I said, damn, it's 1981. I had to have her. And I made her mine. I made her my girl. 13, 14 years. This is you my girl. And I had brown skinned girls, lighter skinned girls, fairer skinned girls on my body because I was a fresh kid. I was always kid fresh. But I'm saying it to say, even at that age, I didn't see fairer skin as beautiful and darker skin as ugly.
Yeah,
Understand?
but
And
most
I
people,
wasn't taught, but I'm saying I was in the hood of the hood,
Right,
the
sis.
ghetto of the ghetto. And I still wasn't taught that because it
well,
wasn't around me.
thank God, but you're like one of a million.
Oh, he's not the only one because I've always just loved a woman.
That's it.
You like if dark skin, I have sure. I just love a woman. If you dark skin, light skin, is Puerto Rican. My son's mother is Puerto Rican. You understand what I'm saying? You know, my kids' mothers is. I, it doesn't
No,
matter.
Miss Rose. See, this is hold on. I gotta cut you out. This is the problem, Miss Rose. The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. That's the bullshit I'm talking about.
And also this
I'm
term
gonna
right
keep it
here
OG 100.
and
I
from this
understand the term, and
yeah, and this is another one on all levels said, you're pretty for a dark skinned girl. I remember
yes,
I went to a strip club one year, right? And the girl in the strip club, her name, the baddest one in there, her name was Chocolate, and she was dark skinned and she was super bad, right? And she went to the bar and she sat down at the bar and the AC is on. So she, you know, her body temperature went down and relaxed. And I could tell she got chilly because she went like this, right? So I took off my jacket, jean jacket, had a jean suit on, threw it on her shoulder. Boom, and she turned around and looked. And I fixed the jacket on her shoulders. And I sat next to her and she looked at me. And I said, damn, your fucking skin is flawless. I didn't say your skin is, you know, for a dark-skinned woman, you're beautiful. For a dark-skinned woman, I said, damn, your skin is flawless. I love your skin. And she went like this, looked at me like, and I said, how you doing? My name is Malik. And we began to chop it up on that comment. I wasn't on some damn, and I heard people, and I've heard women say, I don't like when a dude approach me, right? Female friends of mine have made this comment. That dude approached them like, damn, you pretty for a dark-skinned girl.
They do the same thing to light-skinned girls.
That's what's her name just said.
That's why I'm gonna get on Miss Rose's behind.
Yeah.
See, that darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. That shit was good in Tupac's song, but that's the and I understand you guys showed up late to the show, so you're going to rewind and wonder why I'm checking you right now, Miss Rose. I love you, Queen. But my thing is this: it's not darker the berry than sweeter than juice, because what that does is promotes more colorism, right? Like if you darker, then you're better. But only dark-skinned people say that, right? The light skin is trying to just be accepted by their people. And you're automatically telling us you ain't good enough because you ain't darker. And colorism, that's the colorism that I'm talking about.
And a sister would say the blacker the berry, the sweeter juice, in defense of being stereotyped. So she's saying, shit, don't knock it till you try it. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
I got to interject a little bit.
I know Miss Rose, so that's not her intent. I'm just saying, though.
But when I was coming up, light skin was so in, and that's colorism.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Lighter skin, red bones was the shit.
In New York, that's a fact.
That's everywhere.
No burn. Everywhere. Ain't get no real burn. Light skin, red bones was the shit. So us as darker skinned dudes and women,
we snatching them red bones.
We was like, oh, we got to get a red woman, a red bone, a light skinned woman to be somebody. And that's what the term, the darker, the very sweet, because we needed something to feel good about ourselves.
Love, I get it.
Hold up, as dark-skinned men and women. So, Miss Rose, I got your back on that, sis.
No, you will not alienate us light-skinned folks. You will not. Miss Rose, hey, look, what's funny is when I was colorized this last week or two, Miss Rose was actually in defense of me. And, you know, and a minute ago, she was like, shit, they don't know you black. But so I know Miss Rose's intent. She's like, I'm talking about actual berries. Yeah. I ain't messing with you.
Yeah, I know that's right.
Yeah. But see, again,
I got your phone number. Don't make me call you.
But see, again, Oran, I got a message for you. Oran is still that way in social entertainment. They push light skin over dark skin into the music. That's a fact. That's a fact. But again, it just goes back to, you understand, what we say on the beginning of the sit down. Welcome to the sit down where the truth is told and real stories unfold.
Right.
We have to be mindful of what we say and who we say it around, especially the younger people, because what we do, if I'm in the home and there's teenagers in my home or preteens in my home, and I'm always saying something negative, for example, about a dark-skinned woman, you understand? They're gonna be indoctrinated by that, you understand? And then now they're gonna start questioning, okay, what is dark skin and why is dark skin negative according to the way he said it or what he said? You understand? Why is fair skin? And we got this thing because, like, if you look at like the hair thing, right? When I seen that, I was watching Netflix one day, scrolling through Netflix, and I see the promotion for the joint, Good Hair by Chris Rock. I said, good hair? What the fuck? So some said, tune in for a second too. Pardon me, y'all. Hey, give me 5 minutes.
Really, Malik?
I muted him. I muted him.
Okay.
He's muted. He don't know how to put his phone on vibrate.
My brother.
David and Conquer, Willie Lynch, shit still going. Absolutely. You know, We already talked about that earlier, Ms. Rose. We were talking about the indoctrination and the turning the light skin against the dark skin, and but we were talking about how colorism is not just in this country; it's worldwide. You know what I mean? And so is educationism, which is my new word.
I like that word. I like that.
Educationism.
I'm jacking that. Get your educationism up.
Educationism, right? Like
educationalism. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, you know, and I'm just saying this, you know, because I'm affected. You know, I've been affected by it within my family. I remember not feeling a part of because I was the lightest in my family. Then I get around some other people and I'm not dark enough to be there. Like I've been going through this all my life. And to be almost 49 years old and for a sister to actually come at me with some colorism after 49 years, like you done lost your mind. Like I didn't even know if I want to swing or what I want to do. But you know, I'm not gonna go there. But my thing is like, are we still on that ignorant shit?
Yeah, we are. Because it's called, yeah, we are, because the brother said it. Indoctrination.
Absolutely.
The brother mentioned the time when it was the light skin was the shit. 1981 to 1987 was the shit. It was all about red bone. Check it out though. I'm talking about the progression though, right? When Keith Sweat came out, 88, dark skinned dudes was back in the building. Before that, I'll Be Sure. So then right after that, I'll Be Sure came out. Light skinned dudes is back on top again, right? Then Heavy D came out. Light skinned dudes is back in effect. You had dudes literally saying, I'm bringing light skinned dudes back. I'm bringing dark skinned dudes back. Yeah, I heard dudes. Listen to me. I've heard grown men say, I'm bringing light skinned niggas. I'm bringing light skinned dudes back.
Hey, my son and his friends
I've heard dark skinned dudes say, I'm bringing the dark skinned dude back. He pull up on the block, jump out the Benz or the BM. He got it on. He's like, yeah, I'm bringing dark skinned dudes back. First thing out of his mouth. Ain't no hey, what's popping? Ain't no hey, what's up? Nothing. Ain't no greeting, no handshake, nothing. He jumped out the door.
They also got targeted. You know, you guys have to remember it went further than that because light-skinned individuals used to get targeted more too, and bullied more, and beat up more, and
because more. Why not? Why?
Why what?
Why do you think that was happening?
Because of colorism and because other people were with that mentality of you think you better than.
You see, but it goes back to what the brother said. I don't think I'm better than you. Looking at me, your perception of me is telling you he think he all that. No, you think I'm all that.
No, I'm clear on that. The bottom line, they were still targeted more.
Oh, that's a fact.
Yeah. I mean, I've listened to what you were just saying though about like back in the day when red bones and light skin was in, and I was thinking about my son just a couple of years ago. Like he had 4 or 5 friends that were dark, and then the rest of them were all light skin. And they used to clown each other because they would call each other Team Light Skin. And yeah, I broke him up that, but still, like it's still a thing.
What's that mean? What's that mean? ROTFI.
Rolling on the floor laughing.
Oh, Rico James. I'm just putting up all these emojis and stuff. Like I don't be
Rico James.
No, I got it.
Rico James said, y'all remember when that white DJ or host thought it was cool to call the ladies basketball nappy head holes on the radio? He heard it in our music. I remember that. I don't remember that. I was in the pen, and it was news in the pen. A white radio DJ host, he thought it was cool to call, it was WNBA players, and he called them nappy head holes. That's a fact. This was in the mid-2000s.
Did he get beat up?
Huh?
Did he get beat up?
I was in the pen. When I heard about it, I was in the pen. It got wind to me. It got wind to me maybe a month after.
We already talked about that, Cordell. You guys are gonna have a lot of y'all showed up late. Y'all gonna have to rewind. We've already covered all the stuff that you guys are.
My mom is light skinned and she slapped it out of me for saying that red bone to light skin shit. I know that's right.
Rico James crazy.
Oh, so that dude got fired for saying that?
Yeah, he got fired. Good for him. Good for him.
I would have beat him up first, but you know.
Yeah, well, yes, up there pretty much. No, hey, yo, no fiction. What's up, son? No fiction in the building.
Hey, I'm not trying to be mean to the viewers, but a lot of this, you guys have showed up late, and you guys are adding to the chat about stuff that we've already like kind of touched on a few times already tonight. So if you could please rewind and hit like.
So with that being said, it's almost about that time. Okay, FX is fine. That's what's up. XFX, No Fiction said, what's up, y'all? No Fiction said, what's up? How y'all? And with that being said, any last comments before we sign up?
Nah, just go if you want to see for everybody who showed up late. This was a good one. You're gonna laugh. It gets serious. You know what I mean? That's how
But
just
it's
sit
real,
down. Go to the sit down. I mean, on YouTube, catch it on sit down.
And remember, like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell. Tell a friend, come back again. Oh, Thursday, my sister,
Monday.
she has a special guest. Like
Monday.
I always say, when I say special guest, all our guests are special. But we have a special guest that's going to be on Thursday.
Monday.
Excuse me, y'all. Monday, pardon me. But I stand corrected. On Monday, we have a special guest, entertainer. And I'm not going to say any more. Tune in. Once you tune in, and the brother run his mess right down, or you may look at him and say, oh, snap, I remember him. You know
so
what I mean?
The only thing I want to end, you guys will recognize him when you see him, but
yeah.
The last thing I want to leave y'all with, man, is whether you're just tuning in or not, like, be mindful, right? There's nothing more important in life than being mindful and cognizant of what you're saying and doing and how you're moving. You know what I mean? Because I don't care if it's light skin or dark skin, stop helping the oppressor oppress us by oppressing each other, right? And suppressing each other's voices based on colorism or educationism. You know what I mean?
Right.
Stop putting down our brothers and sisters because they're educated and talk with enunciation and dictation. You know what I'm saying? Proper etiquette. Proper etiquette. You know what I mean? Stop putting our brothers and sisters down and help build them up, and stop trying to dog people out based on which shade they are in our communities. Right? Because it's not where it's at.
She said it all. Good. Salute. We see y'all again Monday.
On all levels, that's a fact. Hey, yo, Snoop, what's good, bro? Thank you for tuning in, homie.
Hey, my friend Santos in the chat got me this hoodie.
Yeah,
from Amazon. Y'all need to get it.
That's what he want to know. Darnell, aka Snoop, Baltimore. He wants to know where you get that shirt, that hoodie from.
Yeah, Amazon. Santos got it for me. Thank you, Santos.
Okay, that's what's up. So with that being said, thank you for everybody that tuned in. Whether you tuned in for the first time or multiple times, and this is your umpteenth time tuning in, thank you. We definitely appreciate the support and the love. Cordell Allen, right back at you. No Fiction, right back at you. On all levels, right back at you. Everybody else, Rico James, everybody, right back at y'all, man. We love you.
Y'all better be here Monday.
That's right. Listen, be here or be square, as the saying used to go. So with that being said, until Monday,
share.
You know, how to, keep the conversations going. Once we, like I always say, once we off air, you don't have to have a conversation about this conversation, but if you want to, you can. We just want the conversations to continue after the sit down. You understand? You can change the topic, but have a sit down with some younger people. All right? Hey, Snoop, love you too. Right back at you, homie. All right? So with that being said, love, peace, and hair grease. We see y'all Monday. Peace.
Peace.